So real quick, Cherubium, who did this amazing graphic work again? Jesse, remind the people.
Oh, this is Isabel Kelly from New Zealand. Super, super talented artist. She is on Patreon. I think it's Izzy Kelly is her name. And wait, holy shit, Diver's already 10% funded? Okay.
Stop
all right.
funding
I
it.
haven't
We
even
didn't talk about it yet.
I haven't even explained anything about it.
It's just an idea.
I mean, you know.
Hey, Squire's gonna squire, you know?
That's true. So real quick, here's some cool doodles that Jesse did of the Cherubium and them performing their music. And
yes,
that brings
absolutely.
us to Vector Cave. Now, everyone's been talking about the Diver. I feel like this piece was commissioned by Sexual Yokoi a long time ago. And yeah, so let's talk about Vector Cave and the Diver, Jesse.
Yeah, this is the single most requested figure ever, right? And there's sort of a reason why I don't like to show figures in the design stage, because then people just ask for them in perpetuity. But there's a very genuine enthusiasm behind this, and this is a character I want to have happen. And it's finally time. So people can show us what you're made of, hop in, support the Diver. There are 2 slots in the design a figure category, which we sold all 4 slots in our previous campaign. And Nicky's arguing with Don over pronunciation.
He doesn't know Japanese. That's all I gotta say. He doesn't know what he's talking about, living there for 20 plus years.
Nicky is Japanese, so he can, you know, he knows how it's pronounced.
Don might be married to someone Japanese. It's possible. It's possible. Maybe.
So we have this amazing piece of artwork from Ian, who just killed it on this.
Yes,
Diver.
there it is. Ian Amling, you know, what a stand-up guy. Truly, I mean, we're very fortunate to work with all sorts of great artists. Ian has a particular ability to like tap into what I see in my brain and render it in a way that's hyper realistic. And, you know, this piece just, to me, it was the first time I felt like the project was the right move. Like, yes, we have to do this figure next. This is made to be. Here he is as I sort of picture him in a very cinematic way. So I love this. I think that this has, you know, real potential to be a colorway as well. I really sort of dig this color style. It might be an homage. It might be a slight nod to something from the past, but we're always going to put our own fun twist on it.
I hate to interrupt you, Jesse, but I'm going to be doing this all night. That the campaign's at 17%. 25 people already supported it.
Guys, I haven't even got through. I haven't even pitched you yet. Come on, let me hard sell you.
Take my money.
They feel bad because you almost died at the top of the broadcast.
True.
They're probably, you know, hoping to use some of it to cover the throat operation you're going to need after this whole thing.
Yeah, they call it firewater for a reason.
All right, so we got some more Diver artwork, and this is by Gobly Prin. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Gobly_Prin. This guy is a new discovery of mine. I saw him on Instagram, and he is extremely talented. This is another artist you just sort of cut loose and let them do what they want. And I really, really love this look for Diver. I think this is fantastic. This could also be another great sort of colorway. And oh boy, we're getting a lot of questions on this Diver stuff. Is there one figure option for Diver, painted or material style? Most likely the one figure option is a painted figure. All details in this campaign can change, but I think that one is, you know, pretty set in stone.
Yeah, and everyone keeps going off in the chat if I can speak Japanese, and no, I'm Chinese.
Okay, no comment.
I love these mini versions that he did, and a little bit of trivia because you cut them loose and you're like, all right, do whatever you want. And this is T Diver, and the T stands for toy pizza.
Yes, or testosterone. You know, I sort of imagine this is like a low testosterone type of guy who has to pose on Instagram with a lot of guns and get really heavy into MMA in his late 40s, early 50s. So that's sort of the backstory of this character. Matt, you like that? It's good, right?
That is it's the worst.
I mean, look at
Moving on.
the ankles are beefy enough that, if you check that kick, it's not going to break. It's going to
Oh shit.
stay strong.
Yeah. And this is a resin output. It's been slightly reworked. There's a couple of rough edges there, but this gives you a good idea of what the final product could look like. Man, I really want to own this figure. I love this.
And there's no screaming faces sculpted for any of these characters. None of them will be screaming.
Wouldn't know
with
anything about
bandana.
that.
You've only done that one time. You're never going to do it again.
Just the one.
No screaming, no military screaming faces, right?
Nicky, do we happen to have the articulation breakdown on here?
Of this figure?
Yeah, I emailed it separately, but that's fine. Don't worry.
I mean, I can pull it up if you want to just hold down the fort and talk about these amazing 2 colorways and talk about the nature of the campaign. We have a lot of questions about the diver that you want to answer. I'll go try to find that image.
Okay, that sounds good.
I got it. It's this,
yes.
right? Oh, no, that's Dowdy with the 4 glasses. Hold on.
Wait, no, that looks about right. There's a lot of requests for different colorways. That's why we have the Design and Night slots. People can make those things happen. And I think that will be a pretty cool thing. We are very close to revealing, it's not going to happen tonight, but what the Design and Night figures were for Sen of the last campaign. And I think that people really nailed it. Like, these things look amazing.
Yeah, they look, the paint samples are really nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
People are going to really, really like this figure. It's gonna be a blast to play with any day now. That is ready to rumble. So I was psyched to see those. Super nice. Yeah. Particularly nice.
Lends itself to so much different stuff. But really, I think Diver, we're at 26% funded. Okay, all right. Making me sweat a little bit.
So, Jesse, I have 2 photos on standby. Which one do you want to show
Put them up
first?
Put them both up. Let's do articulation first.
All right, we got not that one. We got. All right, let's start with this one.
742.
Wow, that is huge. I can only go bigger.
That's a big boy.
All right, you're gonna just look at this email. All right, we got this guy right here.
This could be anything. So I like to think of, and Matt likes to think of, and Nicky likes to think of. Okay, well, we'll do articulation first. Here's the articulation breakdown. Pretty standard stuff. A little bit more juice in the arm, the big sort of grabbing arm, and that will give people a little bit wider range of motion. Also, I just threw a sort of different color filter on that, but I think this would look really good in glow in the dark green. I think we're going to have to consider that as a possible colorway. Am I right, folks?
Yeah.
Now moving on to the second picture, we all also like to think of Diver not just as a underwater concept. This is a astral diver. This is a vector diver. This is a space diver. This is a sort of all terrains, all atmospheres, and this is a possible sort of space version that we call the Astra diver. And as you'll notice, there is actually a sort of spin around double-sided head. And this is, I like to think of the sort of space ones as utilizing this back of the helmet design. And also, this is a nod, obviously, to Ad Astra, which is one of me and Matt's favorite films, and we talk about it all the time.
Wow,
Yeah.
this is gorgeous.
It's a really fun figure to just turn that around. A lot of time went into just tweaking the balance and the placement. And it's Jesse and I go back and forth talking about this as sort of a variable armor diver. So it can be used, just like he was saying, for anything. Go in the water, go into the vector, go into space. The inside of the suit can keep you alive. It was a lot of fun to work on, and I think there's some strange appeal to it as well, and especially the diver side of it. It's something, maybe it's in some of our DNA because of Fisher Price, or, you know, the things that we saw growing up, but it's got a little bit of a cosmic Jacques Cousteau thing going on. And then you just spin that helmet around and then you're ready for any other kind of mission. You know, it's...
Oh man, Gordon just said Space Wolverine colorway. I didn't even think of that.
You stole my idea.
That's an amazing concept.
You stole my
Nicky's.
idea. All right, I just wanted to share. Okay, this is crazy. All right, now that we have the, even before we talked about the articulation breakdown and the head spin, right? Let's check into the campaign. We're already at 28% funded.
Jesus.
This has been 15 minutes, right? 15
Amazing.
minutes. And now, just to talk about when I first saw a Diver, I couldn't help but think of the movie The Abyss and James Cameron going to depths that have never been reached before, and it only makes sense.
You've never been seen before.
It only makes sense that you would have the alternate helmet on the other side, because who knows what's down there? It could be otherworldly. It could be intergalactic. You just don't know. You know, maybe it's Avengers Endgame kind of style, going quantum realm. You know, I
like to think about the inside of that suit as well. What is it filled with?
Piss.
You know, if you get inside, is there a
I
fluid?
can answer that.
Yeah,
I can answer that.
Chili.
Having been a mascot, I dressed as professionally. I was paid to dress as Mongo, the Mongolian barbecue mascot. It is filled with hot air. It's just an inflated thing, and it's
your suit was filled with hot air.
Yeah, yeah,
flavored.
That's right.
Now wait.
That's right.
What is this mascot, and does this mascot still exist at this company
Bring it
that
up.
you worked for?
Look up BD's Mongolian barbecue. You can see a picture of the mascot. I did get yelled at because I started like trying to kick little kids. Like I was running around trying to jump kick in the suit. And I only got to do it for 2 shifts.
And also, in those 2 shifts, you made 2 shits, and that's why you can't.
Yeah, also part of it. That's part of it. Yeah.
Well,
I'm not proud. I admit it, but I'm not proud.
Wow.
Am I sorry? I'm not sorry.
Guys, you guys
Well,
are
no, I know one of the colors that we're going to have to do is barbecue.
Mongolian
that has to happen.
beef barbecue.
Yeah, Mongolian barbecue Abyss.
There's some very good questions coming in about the campaign, and I do want to attempt to answer as many of these as possible. So with regard to like things you can't do for the design a night figure, it's sort of a conversation. There are some things that may not be available. There's some plastics that might be out of stock. You and I enter in a conversation, we kind of like figure out what is your idea or ideas, and how can I sort of reasonably execute on those. People can, of course, talk to the 4 guest designers that were on Sen 5 and Chromega. They have a lot of insight to provide. I think pretty much universally, all 5 of us in unison loved working together, and we're able to find designs that we're happy. But there are going to be some limitations that we can't foresee necessarily. What happens after the campaign closes or reaches full funding? Are there additional things that get unlocked? Am I going to do 2 regular arms and 2 claw arms? What are additional heads? I am on purpose not stating any of those things right now. The Vector Cave is going to be open and be active year round, but the triggers for those things won't function like a normal campaign that we've done in the past, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so what Jesse's trying to say is, like, right now it might be the Diver, but Vector Cave will be open, and we may be attempting to unlock different things. So we'll see. I guess It's a big what if, and also, judging how this is going, we might actually have answers to those questions sooner than later.
Yeah, so, part of the reason we have to have the Vector Cave as this sort of nebulous thing is because if we raised a ton of money tonight and there were like 3 or 4 figures that got unlocked, we can't actually bring those figures to market any quicker because we have this big stockpile of money. We've learned that after our Sen 5 and Chromega wave. There is a bottleneck happening overseas in every aspect of manufacturing for everybody. And sort of trying to develop multiple figures at the same time creates massive delays and a bottleneck in production that prevents us from getting other things going. So the idea with the Vector Cave is to kind of at certain points of the year promote new ideas or new accessories or new figures and spread out the process of sort of crowdfunding these different projects, because we can only sort of do so much at the same time. And we really reached our capacity to simultaneously manage different projects this past year. So that is kind of the impetus behind the Vector Cave. I'm trying to find a way to navigate through very, troublesome environments to manufacture, but still have exciting events happen, still have new figures get unlocked and X, Y, and Z. He is a roughly Sen 5 size. He kind of sits on the fence between the bigger, bulkier figures and our traditional figures. There's also, there is a big question mark into what is the final size, which you never really quite know until the final project is done.
Recently, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a strong emphasis on exploration with this type of campaign. It's the kind of campaign, we call it a campaign. It's more of an experience in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That's a result of what Jesse's talking about, because there's been delays and curveballs coming out of China beyond anything we've experienced before. And I mean, we've been at it for a while collectively, but this isn't going to be for everybody who likes to see the tiers set up and the unlocks and the emails with the unlock and, the incentives. That is all, it's very effective and it works for, there's multiple campaigns happening right now on Kickstarter, some of them more legit than other ones, but this is different. And this is geared for the kind of people that I think we all are, that want to experience something. And when you're working with Nicky and Jesse and our kind of collective, there is definitely a certain perspective that you need to hold tight when you go into it. You know that this is going to get made. You know that we're not going to let you down. This isn't going to be served to you on a platter in the same way, but it is going to be a hearty meal. And it's going to be something that is different. So the fact that these things come up can sometimes be frightening to see. Jesse and I discussed what the different questions would be, and just listening here, it's every question that we talked about. And will there be an alternate arm? I can say with certainty that we have explored this figure for multiple years. And when it first was being developed, we spent months and months working on this and looking over these different things. So you're getting the same quality. The delivery system is going to be the same. You're going to get it. It's going to be made. But the path and the journey to getting there is a little bit different. It's a little bit kind of like the diver going into the bottom of the ocean. You're not exactly certain what's down there, but it is exciting and it is fresh and it is not canned shit. And that's what we don't want. We don't want canned. What do you want now more than ever? Do you want the same thing? Do you want the cuddly moment? Or do you want to have a little bit of that edge where you're saying, I'm not quite certain what the hell this is going to be, but it's going to be the same quality. And these guys haven't let me down yet. And we absolutely, I guarantee that, and I know Jesse and Nicky do. This is a little bit risky and it's strange. And I like it. I like it because it is something fresh. That's what we need more than anything, I think, because the rest of it just gets very stale. I don't know how many different forms of a specialized gun wrist and, special forms and having to hold things in, tight quarter combat, legitimate style. It's cool that this stuff can be done, but it doesn't showcase anything that I can't see anywhere else. This stuff is weird and it is not expected. And it's a diver, but there's a lot more to that figure. And if you guys want it to happen, and it will happen, and we will make sure that there's a lot of things in there that will be fun. It will be fun. And more than that, satisfying. It will be satisfying.
also to illustrate something. So let's say the diver doubles the ask, right? Let's say it does exceptionally well, and we now have double the budget. That extra money could be used for, alternate heads, different limbs, accessories,
backpacks,
or that could be used for an entirely new character that goes along with Diver. And Matt knows what is on deck beyond Diver. And so by sort of not committing to specific stretch goals, we have the ability to pull something crazy off if this thing, goes sky high. So we got some good stuff planned.
There's an abstract quality to it, but we are abstract thinkers in a lot of ways, and we also like the regular, over the place stuff sometimes as well. But this kind of thing, if this works, this will open up a lot of different avenues, and there are a lot of figures, and there is a sort of companion piece to this one that is, whoa, it is wicked.
There's many things. We suspect there are many things in this cave. We need to send our scouts down in there, and whatever he brings back, it's not going to be boring. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, it's there, and there's some other artists and some other minds also at work. The whole thing. The thing about Toy Pizza in general is, it's a collective of very, very interesting people that have exceptional talents, and guys like Ian Ameling and Gavin Mackey he's an unsung bit of a genius in my opinion. An exceptional artist and a story.
Jack too. Let's not forget Steve Jack.
Go right down the list. Irwin and a number of other guys. There's some people that worked on the Diver that that people aren't familiar with, and it's always unexpected. There's always some kind of weird thing that's going to surface, and this campaign is one of those. And this is something that Jesse thought long and hard about. We debated this and discussed this, and Nicky and Jesse did as well. They talk all the time. This stuff doesn't just get thrown onto the fire. It goes through a real heavy editing process. So, I'll be curious to see where it lands. It's a beautiful empty space where Jesse was. Maybe he finally fired.
He go pee-pee now. So
he go pee-pee? I thought he just had a bucket under the table. That's what we do in New England.
Perfect Diver pre-order is up. If you are just tuning in now, go to the store. We have Toy Pizza exclusives. This will be running for 19 days, possibly extended. We're already at 30% funded. Thank you to everyone that threw money at this before we even talked about the details. And when Jesse comes back, we have some more to talk about.
I'm back.
Diver?
I'm back.
He's back.
And yes, we got more to talk about for sure. Before we move on to this next topic, if you guys really want to come through clutch for us, share this campaign for Diver. Tell people you're excited about it on Instagram. Maybe you're on Tinder. Maybe you're on Parlor, whatever it may be. Share some of this art. Share some of the screen caps. Credit the artist when you can, and get people to check out Diver. And let's signal boost this. Let's juice this baby and send him down into that cave. I want to see what's in there. I want to explore.
I'm on Diver. It's DIVR. It's like a lowercase r with a period. It's a new app. Go check it out.
There.
That's right. We just launched it. New app.
All right. So let's talk about action figure of the month, right?